The accusation and the conditioning. At some point in your life, someone has looked at you, tilted their head, and asked the question, "Why are you so quiet?" It is never asked as a genuine inquiry. It is asked as an accusation. It is phrased as if your silence is a malfunction, as if you have forgotten your lines in a grand chaotic play that everyone else is acting out perfectly. This conditioning began when you were very young. The school system, the corporate world, and modern social dynamics are all built on a single, highly flawed premise. They equate noise with value. We are taught that the one speaking the loudest in the room is the leader, that the child who raises their hand first is the smartest, that the person constantly updating the world on their life is the most successful. We are taught that visibility is the exact same thing as importance. And so, if you do not speak, society assumes there is nothing inside of you. They assume you are shy. They assume you are intimidated. They assume you are empty. But what if they are entirely wrong? What if your silence is not a lack of confidence, but a profound surplus of it? The truth that society does not want to admit is that they do not pity quiet people. They are intimidated by them, because in a world that is completely obsessed with performance, a person who simply sits, watches, and refuses to perform is a psychological anomaly. They cannot be read, they cannot be easily manipulated, and most importantly, they see absolutely everything. You are not broken for being quiet. You have simply unplugged from a game that was designed to exhaust you. The economics of noise and the persona. To understand why your silence makes the world so deeply uncomfortable, you must understand the invisible architecture of modern society. We live in an economy of attention and friction. Every social interaction, every corporate meeting, every digital platform is built on a frantic exchange of ego. People speak not to communicate truth, but to validate their own existence. They talk to convince themselves that they are real. The great Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung wrote extensively about the persona, the social mask that we wear to survive in the world. Jung noted that most people become so completely identified with their mask that they forget who they are beneath it. They become terrified of silence, because without the mask, they feel they do not exist. To survive in the modern crowd, you must surrender your individuality to this persona. You must laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You must feign outrage at the trivial drama of the day. You must constantly project a carefully curated, heavily edited version of yourself. It is an endless, exhausting psychological performance, and everyone is secretly tired of it. When you walk into a room and remain quiet, you are subconsciously breaking the social contract. You are looking at the grand stage of modern life, observing the frantic actors sweating under the stage lights, and you are quietly whispering, "I refuse to read the script." This terrifies the people around you. When you do not constantly broadcast your thoughts, your insecurities, and your desires, you become a psychological black hole. You give them no data. You give them no leverage. The loud person reveals their entire hand within the first 5 minutes of the game. They tell you what they want, what they fear, and exactly how desperate they are for your approval. They hand over the keys to their psychology entirely voluntarily, but the quiet person holds all their cards. By saying nothing, you retain absolute power. You transition from the role of the actor to the role of the observer, and the one who observes holds the ultimate authority over the ones who perform. The mirror of solitude. There is a deeper, darker reason why the extroverted, loud society fears the quiet individual. The 17th century French philosopher Blaise Pascal famously said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Why are people so loud? Why must there always be a podcast playing, a conversation happening, a screen flashing in the background of their lives? Because noise is an anesthetic. As long as there is noise, a person does not have to listen to the terrifying, uncompromising voice of their own conscience. As long as they are talking, they do not have to face the void of their own unresolved trauma, their own unhappiness, or their own emptiness. When a person who is running from themselves encounters you, the quiet, still, unbothered individual, they experience a severe psychological shock. Your silence acts as a mirror. When they speak to you and you simply listen, offering no frantic validation, no desperate small talk to fill the gaps, the silence bounces back onto them. Suddenly, they hear how hollow their own words are. Suddenly, the frantic pace of their own mind is exposed. By simply doing nothing, you force them to sit in the stillness they have spent their entire lives running from. They are not uncomfortable with you. They are uncomfortable with the reflection of their own mind that your silence forces them to look at. This is the great secret of the quiet mind. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer believed that a man can only be truly himself as long as he is alone. He coined a concept we might call the aristocracy of the intellect. Schopenhauer wrote that highly intelligent, deeply perceptive people actively seek out solitude and quiet, not because they hate the world, not because they are antisocial, but because they have a rich, vast, overflowing internal world that the endless, meaningless noise of society would only disrupt. If your mind is an empty room, silence is terrifying. Every echo sounds like a ghost. But if your mind is a library, a fortress, a galaxy of observation and deep thought, silence is not a punishment. Silence is your greatest luxury. The biological superpower society loves to frame introversion and quietness as a psychological deficit. But modern neuroscience paints a very different picture. The quiet person's brain operates on a fundamentally different bandwidth. If you are naturally quiet, it is highly likely that your nervous system is exceptionally sensitive to dopamine. Extroverts require massive amounts of external stimulation, loud noises, large crowds, constant talking, just to feel a baseline level of satisfaction. Their neurological engines require constant fuel, but the quiet mind is highly efficient. A deep conversation with one person, a walk through a quiet forest, or simply sitting in a room thinking through a complex idea is enough to deeply stimulate your brain. Because you require less external input, you have more cognitive energy available to process the world. While the loud person is busy thinking about the next sentence they are going to say, the quiet person is studying the room. You are noticing the micro-expressions on people's faces. You are noticing whose words do not match their actions. You are mapping the invisible power dynamics that the loud people are entirely blind to. Society fears you because they instinctively sense that you operate on a higher frequency of perception. You see the strings attached to the puppets, and the puppets do not like being watched. The weaponization of silence. You may have forced yourself to be louder, to exhaust your social battery, to wear a mask that didn't fit, just to make the people around you feel more comfortable. It is time to drop the mask. It is time to recognize your silence not as a social deficit, but as an advanced psychological weapon. In a world where everyone is violently fighting for attention, the most powerful thing you can do is systematically withdraw yours. When you are insulted in a meeting or a social gathering, do not argue. Do not raise your voice. Look the person directly in the eyes and remain entirely silent. Let the insult hang in the dead air, unsupported, until the person who spoke it suffocates on their own foolishness. The silence will crush them far more effectively than your anger ever could. When someone tries to draw you into their toxic drama or their office politics, offer them nothing but a calm, unreadable gaze. Deny them the reaction they are starving for. In a negotiation, when the other party makes an offer, do not speak. Let the silence stretch. Human nature despises an uncomfortable pause, and 9 times out of 10, they will negotiate against themselves just to fill the quiet. The sovereign architect. You are not the background character in their play. You are the architect observing the simulation. You have the profound, rare ability to find absolute peace in a world that is addicted to chaos. You do not need their validation because you are not participating in their delusion. The next time someone looks at you, clearly unsettled by your stillness, and asks, "Why are you so quiet?" Do not apologize. Do not shrink yourself. Do not scramble to fill the air with empty, meaningless words just to soothe their social anxiety. Look back at them. Let the silence stretch out just a second longer than is comfortable, and realize that they are asking because they are standing in the middle of a violent storm, and they are terrified of the absolute, unshakable fact that you are the only one who knows how to control the weather. Remain quiet. Remain observant. Let the world make its noise. You already know the truth.